Turn the thing around.
This is the first time I've
Okay, there you go.
Starting to get a
Hey
little
there.
squirrely here.
There you go. There we go. We got it figured out.
Okay.
Hi, SueBrooke.com. I'm here in Lancaster, California, doing a fun little mixer, and I'm going to be teaching the top 11 business and marketing tips. You guys ready?
Ready.
These are my favorite ones. Okay. I'm going to make sure she can see too. Okay. So number one. I want to tell you a little thing about opportunity. Opportunity is right now your business, your word of the day, okay? First of all, opportunity is really good at hiding, really good. It could be hiding in the deepest, darkest crevices anywhere, but if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. The other thing about opportunity, I feel bad because she's like right behind my screen there. So the other thing about opportunity, it could be staring you right in the face, jumping up and down, waving their hands, and you won't even see it. And I see that all the time. I see opportunities staring people right in the face, and they're just completely blind to it. So I want you guys to all really think about opportunity and how you can find it wherever you are. For example, networking groups. Okay, I'm going to talk a lot about biggest mistakes and things that you can do with networking, things that I see around. And the biggest one is this. What happens at networking groups? You guys go around and you get a whole bunch of stack of business cards. You get this nice, wonderful stack of business cards and you go home, and what happens? Before you even get home, how many emails, texts, Facebook messages do you get saying, oh, can we meet for coffee? I would love to tell you all about my business so I can sell you some stuff. How many people have had that happen to them? Like a lot, right? So I want you to think about this differently. I want you to think about business cards in a different way, okay? These are opportunities, all of them, to work with someone, JV with somebody, get more customers. I love to play a game with business cards, okay? If I find, well, I'll give you an example. So when I had a tutoring business, which I had for 18 years, I would go to networking groups all the time. And I would meet someone, let's say a plumber, and I'd say, my game was this. How can this plumber and me owning a tutoring center, how can we help each other? So we would think of this, okay, well, plumbers, they're fixing toilets, right, with families that have kids, right, and kids need tutoring. So why don't I tell him that anybody that he has, he can offer free tutoring session to any of his clients. So that's going to help me, and in return, I'm going to give his business cards out and his flyers and information out to help him, because all these families need plumbers every so often, right? So play games like that with the business cards. Find opportunities where you're not always looking for it. Now I'm going to tell you a story, because this is why I love this word opportunity so much. So a long time ago, I was married. I'm not married anymore, but he was a musician. Now I'll tell you this funky story. So he was a musician that he played for all the big fancy weddings, and he played for all the famous people weddings and the after parties for the Golden Globes and all these huge events. And so he would get calls every week, and during the week he would get a call that would tell him where he'd be playing. Okay, I'm playing at the Beverly Hills Hotel for Adam Sandler's wedding or whatever, right? Hi there. So one day, I was working at home, had my tutoring business out of my living room back then, and all of a sudden the phone rang, and he's over there talking on the phone, getting his gig details, right, for the week. And he gets off the phone and he comes running in the living room and he says, you aren't going to believe this, but guess where I'm playing? I'm going to be performing, my band is going to be performing for the Ryan and Trista wedding. How many of you remember Ryan and Trista, the Bachelorette? She was the first Bachelorette, big show, right? Huge. And this was the first one. Well, immediately I realized that I had watched the show. I don't really watch those shows, but back then it was on TV and we watched it, and it was huge. It was one of the biggest shows on television at that time. So if you know the Bachelorette, she chose the person she wanted to be her husband, and they were getting married. And immediately, while I'm on my computer and he tells me that, I went, oh my gosh. In my head I went, he wrote poetry to Trista, that's how he got her to marry him, right? So that's how she fell in love with him, was writing this poetry. So immediately I went on the computer, I found the poems that he had written to her. There was one that was beautiful called Something About Her Was Gorgeous. I printed it out, I ran in the recording studio, and I told my husband, I said, write music to this. Don't ask any questions, just write music to this poem. Long story short, he pulled me in like within an hour, played me the most gorgeous, beautiful song I'd ever heard in my life. I said, let's get in the car right now, let's go. We're going to your agent, we're going to the wedding planner, big giant. This was going to be played all over the world, okay, this wedding, all over the entire world. And long story short, we got it to the wedding planner, who got it to Ryan, the groom himself. He played it, he surprised her on international television with that song, and Brad Paisley, famous country singer, sang the song on national TV. And I remember just going, how did this happen? This would have never happened if I hadn't have been sitting there and grabbed a hold of that opportunity in that second. I remember I came up with a website, the domain name, I had everything. We had things to sell, like they could get a download of the MP3. We had thousands, like 20, 30,000 people that came onto that website while they were playing the song. It was amazing. So you see why it's important to keep your ears and eyes open for opportunities all the time with everybody. So that's my first one. Networking, try to find opportunities with people that you are in the same room with. So now we're getting into some hardcore tips. First one, business cards. This is a big, big thing for me. Business cards. You need to have your picture on your business card. Every time I say that, people go, oh, I don't want my picture on a business card. I'm sorry. If you don't have your picture on a business card, here's what happens. You go home with a whole stack of business cards and you look at one and go, what is that? I have no idea who that is. But this one, it's like, oh, I remember her, right? Have your picture on your business cards. That's just a huge tip. A lot of people don't understand the importance of it, but it's huge, especially if you're networking. Number 3, email address. Your email address, and I see this a lot, should always be a professional email address. My website is SueBrooke.com. My email address is sue@suebrooke.com. People will see your email address or your website address and know that's what it is, but it also puts you a little bit more of an expert. So don't have a Hotmail or Yahoo email, or God forbid AOL email. Make sure that you have a professional email address, and that's easy enough to do with the domain name. So that was number 3. Number 4. Okay. You all need a place to keep all of your email addresses that you get. So you're going to get your business cards. You need a place to keep your email addresses in there. And when you're sending out emails, I have 2 people in particular that are, I've emailed both of them, and I need to actually call them and have a talk with them, because it's a big, big deal right now that you should never spam people, right? It's huge. You can get shut down. There's all kinds of things that can happen to you. The least amount is people will click spam and you will never ever see another email from you again. So you need to have some sort of contact management system. MailChimp is awesome. It's totally free. They now have free automation, free segmentation of your email address. I'll get into segmenting in a second. But you absolutely must have all your email addresses in one place. When you send out an email, make sure there's a place for them to unsubscribe. Before that, you also have to get their permission. So anybody who gives me their card today, you're giving me permission, I'm telling you now, to send you an email. I'm not going to spam you. I really am terrible at sending emails anyway. But when you do that, please make sure you do that. I get emails from 2 people almost on a daily basis, and there's no way for me to unsubscribe, and I feel really bad with saying, hey, can you please not email me anymore? And then they take it bad, and it's just a terrible feeling. So don't do that. Okay, that was number 4. All right, let's talk about social media. Who wants to know about social media? Everybody always usually does. Okay. On social media platforms for your business, first of all, you need to figure out where your target market is hanging out, okay? You guys have Etsy, things like that are crafty. Pinterest is a good place to hang out. I'm guessing a lot of the people that you would want to buy your stuff would be Pinterest. Facebook is the one I'm really going to talk about today, because that's probably the most popular and the one that actually has the most opportunity for good promotion. Now, when you choose your social media platform, make sure when you're posting things, you're posting valuable content, interesting content, inspirational stuff. People love that. How many of you get the it's like an inspirational saying, and then underneath it, embedded on the actual picture is a website. People are doing that for a reason. First of all, people love that stuff, and they share it. They tend to share it. If you're going to post something like that, make sure you put your information on there, your name or your website address. There's 2 reasons for it. That's one, obviously, to get your name out there. It's another way to get people interested in it and seeing that you're posting valuable, interesting content. But the second thing is, if you don't know this about Facebook, this is huge. Facebook has no intention of letting you post anything or showing your post, I should say, to anything that's a link outside of Facebook. If you notice, and I've tried this many times, so I do Facebook Lives every day. I made a pact on January 1st, I would do a video every day, so that's what I do. And I tested it. I thought, well, I'm just going to do a bunch of videos and just upload them, or I'm going to send them to YouTube every day. Well, here's what happened. I said, I posted a link to YouTube. If people click the link in my post, they're going to take them to YouTube. Facebook didn't show it to anybody. I didn't get any, like maybe 1 or 2, maybe if it was friends or if I shared it with, but they did not like that one bit. So I went, okay, that's not going to work. So then I took my phone and I recorded a video and I just uploaded it straight to Facebook. Well, I got people seeing it, people liking it, and got engagement on it. But Facebook Live, oh my gosh, talk about something that changed my entire life. Facebook Live is on Facebook. Facebook wants people to do these videos, and they're going to show it to a lot of people. It's changed a little bit in the last few months. I'll tell you why in a second. But Facebook Live is probably one of the best things you can do if you want to get people engaged on Facebook. Now, I'm going to go back to the social media. It's the same thing. You're not going to get on Facebook Live and say, oh, buy my stuff. You're not going to sell people and spam them with stuff and bombard them with things that you're trying to sell them. You want to give them valuable content, inspirational things, that kind of stuff. Tell them about stuff that's interesting. Give interesting, valuable content. And what I have found, and I have a lot of people that do this in my mastermind groups, the people that do it on a regular, consistent basis also start building a following, and they'll start allowing the notifications. Because when I started this Facebook Live a minute ago, everybody, or a lot of people who wanted the notifications on my list, a little thing that came up said, hey, Sue Brooke is live right now. So what happens to all the ADD people? Oh, what's she saying, right? So I love Facebook Live. I love it because of that. And I have actually gotten a lot of clients by doing Facebook Live. People that I don't even know, find my Facebook Lives. I did some kind of thing one day about how to sell and make money while you're sleeping, and some guy the next day emailed me and said, he was from Alabama or somewhere like that, Boston, somewhere, and he said, oh, my wife and I saw your Facebook Live and we want to hire you to help us with our business. And I was like, you're not even a friend of mine. How did you find me? So somehow it gets around because people share it. So live streaming, huge, 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 really, really good. Number 7. Okay, now we're getting into some deeper stuff. All right, a minute ago I talked about segmenting. Does anybody know what segmenting means? When I say segment your audience? Okay, let me kind of go off on a tangent here for a second. The number one thing you need to do, and we got somebody that's starting a business right now from scratch. The thing that she can do that's going to be the best thing that she can do right now, if you're starting a business, is you got to do the research. You have to go out and see if people even want what you have, okay? So you're going to go out and do research there's Google keywords research, there's something called SEMrush, there's all of these, a lot of places and resources that you can find where you can actually research, type it. You can actually just go to Google itself, like you're doing fermented foods, right? So you can go into Google itself, just do a Google search. And if you notice when you start typing in, you notice that Google gives you some suggestions. Those suggestions are things that people are actually searching for. So that helps you know what people are actually typing into Google. So make sure you do your research and see what they're actually searching for. Fermented foods, for example, I wouldn't, until maybe now that you've educated me a little tiny bit, I didn't know what fermented foods were. So there's no way I'm going to type that in. So you would have to figure out what is something that's important to me. If you think that I really need what you're selling, figure out what I do need, what my desires are, what is important to me, and figure out how your foods can help me. And then you'll know what I'm typing in. And that takes research. It takes analysis and research, a lot of research, to figure out who's doing that. So that's number one. Once you figure out the research, you're going to figure out who your perfect avatar is. Anybody not know what an avatar is? Okay, I'm going to say it anyway in case anyone on Facebook Live here, since we're live. A lot of people hear your target market. You've heard that a million times, right? What's your niche? Who's your perfect client? All of those kind of things. Okay, a target market is a market of people, but what I'm talking about, what you have to figure out, and you're going to have a lot of different ones, but you need to figure out your perfect avatar. An avatar is this. It's an actual, accurate representation of your ideal client. An actual representation of your ideal client. So, think in your heads, if you have a business, who your perfect client is. That perfect one is a real person that you would love 1,000,000 of them. They buy from you, they pay, they love you, they do all the things that you tell them to do. You could just have all of them as your perfect client, you would be super duper happy. That's your avatar. That is a representation of your avatar. You're going to have different avatars. Here's what I want you to think about. I want you to figure out what your most profitable avatar is. The one that's going to pay you. So I'm going to give you a really interesting example. In fact, I did a thing on Monday, and we went around and talked about avatars, and someone was there that sold insurance. And she said, well, everybody needs insurance. Every single person in the world needs insurance. They're all my avatars, so how do I do that? I'm like, well, let me give you an example. So what if I said, I have a bottle of water in my hand, and I'm going to sell water. In fact, this happened with a friend of mine. They said, well, everybody is my avatar. I sell water. So you think, oh, well, yeah, I guess so. But think about this. We give you a little story. So there's 3 people. You got 3 people that want your water, okay? You got the first guy, and he is into the environment. He wants to save the environment. He's all about that. And he needs that water to make the environment the way he wants it to be. Then you've got the second person. The second person is a workout person. This person is in the gym. He's maybe getting ready to run a race, a marathon. He needs that water for his endurance and to make sure that he wins that race. And then you got the third person. The third person is very sick. Could be dying. That person could need that bottle of water to have one more day on earth. So let me ask you a question. I have this water here. It's $20. All right. First person that's going to save the environment. How much are they going to care about that environment to give me $20 for that water? Probably not, right? What about the workout person? The one that needs that water to win the race? 50-50, maybe? If they're really, really serious and they really want that water, they might pay me $20. How many bottles of water is that person going to pay me if they need that water to save their life? Right? So who's your most profitable avatar? Figure that out in your business. Which one is it? Because there is one. So now getting into the word segment, what I was talking about segmenting. I'm going to talk about websites next. That's why I'm getting into this. So a lot of people make a big mistake with their website. Huge. Realtors are the worst. They make the worst mistake with their website because of this. You go to their website, many realtors do that. And on this side of their web page, same page, there's one page, right? This side is like, I'm going to sell your home. We're going to give you the best price for your home. You're just going to get the most money for your home because we're going to sell it. We're going to issue lots and lots of money for your home. It's the highest price. And on this side of the page, it says, we are going to help you find a home to buy, and we're going to give you a really, really good deal on the best home. So what happens? Someone that's what?
Contradict each other.
That's right, because if I go and I want to buy a house, and I'm looking over here, it's like, wow, you're going to give me a good price on the house, but he's also saying he's going to get the highest price for a house. That's not my realtor. I'm out of here. I'm going to go find somebody else. And the guy that's selling his house is looking over here going, well, they're going to give me a really good deal and give me the lowest price on the best. There's something very, very incongruent here. So they're going to be out of there. So what realtors, simplest thing to do, go to a realtor website. It should say, you want to buy a house? Click this big button. Want to sell a house? Click this button. Whatever button they click is going to speak to that person. I'm going to go just a tad bit deeper than that. So let's say someone wants to buy a house and they click the big button that says, I'm going to buy a house. And they go to that part of the website. And they're saying, we can find the perfect house for your family that's going to have this, that, and the other thing, family house. But the guy looking is a bachelor. He wants a bachelor pad. And it's like all these different, you might need to segment it even further. Are you a family? Are you a single person? What kind of house are you looking for? And continue to segment it down until you find that perfect avatar that you're looking for. Does that make sense? So in your email addresses, going back to the email one, MailChimp, I'm just using MailChimp as an example because it is free to start out and they have tons of free stuff, and they just added where you can actually take your email address and have different segments. So you could say buyer, if I'm speaking about, whatever it is, people who want to buy a house is in this segment. That way you're not sending one email to the whole wide world and it's not speaking to them. So when you find that perfect avatar, that perfect, most profitable market segment, and that perfect avatar, then you know them so well. I have a lot of resources that will help you dig deep, and when you do your research, you'll be able to know what their deepest desires are. You need to know why they get up in the morning, what they eat for breakfast. You need to know them like they are your best friend. You need to have a picture of them in your head and a name for them. You can call them, come up with the perfect name. So a lot of big internet marketers, they call theirs Bob. They know that Bob is their perfect one, and then they have a whole thing. They know everything to know about Bob, whoever their avatar is. So once you know that, the next one after avatar is language. You need to know how to speak their language. Obviously, all I have to say is men and women, right? If your avatar is a woman, are you going to speak to them like you would talk to a man? If your perfect avatar, if you sell Harley stuff and you're going after Harley riders, some of them, or maybe Hell's Angel groups, and you're going to sell something to them, you're going to have a completely different language than you might for a single mom that has kids, right? So I'm giving you pretty big examples, but make sure you know how to speak their language. Talk to them to make them say, oh my God, you know me so well. I trust you, and I'm with you for life. So you need to know what language they speak. I'm going to throw this in here too. Am I talking too fast? I'm trying to get everything in really fast. You getting something out of this? Okay, cool. So this is another. I'm just going to skim over all of these. There's so much more I can tell you. But when you go to the website and you're segmenting the audience, you also need to be able to speak their language on your website. And I want you to think about these things. This is what, if you go to any, especially internet marketers, they know exactly how to speak to you because you can't see their face usually. Think about this. I'm going to give you three things: claim, proof, and benefit. And that your website, all of your marketing materials, everything that you have should have this in order. You need to make a claim. Like I can kind of use Fran. She does a spices thing. Her claim is that she has a blend of spices that can really help with the symptoms for lupus. Okay, so she says, my spice blend is going to really help anyone that has it with their symptoms of lupus, whatever her claim is. You can make all the claims you want. This is what a lot of people do. They make a claim, and it's like you just think everybody's going to believe you, right? So you have to back it up. You have to back it up with a proof. So she needs to go online and find some legitimate big company, or the food. What's the food?
FDA.
The FDA. You need to go see if you can find anything from the FDA that says the FDA says that this spice does this. You can show proof. Then people are going to go, oh. And then the bottom thing is you're going to do is what's the benefit of that? And the benefit is always what the deepest desires are of your perfect avatar. I just heard the perfect thing today. I loved this. When you asked her why she wanted to start a business, It's exactly what really everybody that starts a business. She said, freedom. You want freedom. So your benefit, if you're, let's say I do a claim that 80% of, and this is the truth, 80% of all businesses will fail. The the SBA actually has studies that shows that 80% of businesses fail after the first 2 years. So that's horrible. So what's the benefit of my program? I'm going to help you know all of these different things and learn, so you're part of the 20% that's not going to fail. So think of whatever the benefit is for that person. So claim proof benefit is huge. If you want more information on that, you can let me know. I have lots of good stuff with that. Okay, that was number 9. Number 10. Okay, I don't know. I think I'll go to number 10 first. Okay, position yourself as an expert. I'm pretty passionate about this because this is something that totally changed my life. I'm in a lot of mastermind groups. I don't know if any of you are in any mastermind groups, but that's something that's huge. And my mastermind mentor taught, you have to write a book. You have to write a book. It's like everybody's like, oh, I gotta write a book. And I was like, oh, I need to write a book. And I said, what am I going to do? So I went home, I went, fine, I'll just write an ebook. And it's called Tips for Finding the Right Tutoring Program for Your Child. I owned a tutoring center for 18 years. And so I went home and I just wrote everything I knew about finding a tutoring program for your child. And I put it up on Amazon. I figured it out on my own. It was like I figured out how to do all this stuff. I put it up on Amazon. And I swear to God, by the next morning, someone sent me a screenshot, and it's like, look, you're #1 best-selling author. I was like, what? What did I do? I'm telling you, the minute that happened, and I started telling people that, I was celebrity in my town. Everywhere I went, oh my gosh, you're the author, you're bestseller author, oh my gosh. So I did actually finally get it printed, and I printed in these fun little 4x6 books that I'm now publishing. And this is now it's a marketing piece. It was for my tutoring center. It's a marketing piece for tutoring centers, and it's a bestseller. So I can actually tell people now that I'm a best-selling author. What? Oh, there we go. That's the book. All right. You won't see this is new, so this cover and everything isn't on Amazon yet, but it will be soon. So then I went another step. I went, okay, I need to write a real book, a big book. That was just an ebook at the time. And I went, oh, I was like a lot of other people. I don't want to write a whole giant book by myself. So I had this idea. I went, well, what if I could get a whole bunch of authors, all the other people that don't want to write a big book, and we will all do something like Chicken Soup for the Soul, where everybody writes a chapter, and then it's a compilation book, and I just have to write one chapter, and I can have a real book. That's where this came in. Put that on there. This was my first idea. My story, which I didn't tell today, and you can read it in the book, is I was married to a musician for 13 years and gave up pretty much everything, all my passions, all my dreams, everything that was important to me to manage his music career. And my identity at that time was the musician's wife. Nobody really knew who I was. I was backstage. And that's just a very small part of the whole story. But identity was really important to me because after a car accident and a divorce and horrible stuff that happened, a lot of adversity, I realized the importance of holding on to your identity. So I said, well, I want to do a series of books called Discover Your I, as in your identity, and the first book will be called that. So I got 15 authors to each write a chapter. So they each wrote about 6 pages or so in the book, and then at the end of their chapter, they got their own author page. So they could put their picture and all their business information and everything in there. I do a website where all the authors can be on the website. And it's like you only had to write one chapter. And then I went a step further for the next book. The next one was called Inspiration. So I got 19 authors that did not want to be authors. They just said, oh, but I know I need to be one. I gave them the opportunity to put their own picture on the cover. So this is a friend of mine who did the same book, but she got to put her picture on it. My name's just little under there. And on the back, got to put her bio on the back. So this is, put it in there. So that is what I'm doing. That's one of the things I'm doing now for people who don't write a whole entire book. It's not very expensive to pay to have your own book. You get your own barcode in the whole 9 yards. It will literally change your life once you have a book if you don't have one. And these little books are super easy to write. They're quick, they're easy, and all those kind of things, yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you another little trick. If you don't even want to have, if you want a marketing material that is a book that's free, first of all, I'll tell you just a little bit about ebooks. So ebooks have no pages in them. There's no number of pages because when people take the ebook, you can make a big print, little print. There's really no pages in an ebook. So it doesn't matter if it's just short. You can just do short 15 tips to this, that, or the other thing. You can do an ebook. You can go in, you can do it yourself, or you can talk to me and I'll tell you how we can get it done for you. Put an ebook up on Amazon, and I'm going to give you a little tip. Have you ever gone on Amazon and there's books, you can look at the first few pages of a book on Amazon, it says look inside, seen that before? You can actually on an ebook have links, actual links to your website, to anything. And so in the first few pages of your ebook, you want to put your website, maybe a free offer, a link to something, your email address, anything. People don't even have to buy the book. And it's free advertising on Amazon. Just a bonus tip for you there. So writing a book is number 10. All right. So any questions so far on any of that? Too much information? No? Okay. Number 11. After you do your research and you figure out your avatar and you learn how to talk to them and you have everything the way it's supposed to, your website looks the way it's supposed to, you know that if anybody goes to that website, your actual most profitable avatar goes to your website, chances are they're going to buy from you because you are speaking their language. Why would they go anywhere else? Okay? Traffic. T is traffic. Traffic is getting people to go and actually buy from you, correct? Now, I'm going to go back to websites, for example. If your website is not ready and you go and spend a whole bunch of money getting people to go to your website, it's a total waste of money and a total waste of time because a lot of people don't do anything with their websites. It's just like this, there's nothing there. The realtors, like I said, they could spend thousands and thousands of dollars getting people to go to their website and people are just going to leave. That's a complete waste of time. So I'm just imploring everybody, make sure you do the research, figure out your target, figure out your segments, determine who that profitable avatar is. And when you get ready to find traffic, you can buy traffic. You can have a Facebook ad that you can target exactly who you want to visit your website, your Facebook page, email you, call you, whatever, give it your free offer. You can go into Facebook ads. You know who your avatar is. You did the research. You can go in and say, let's say your avatar is in Palmdale and Lancaster in the Antelope Valley. You can go in and say, I want to find everyone in the Antelope Valley who follows people that, follows Etsy, let's say. Great, we got a couple people that do jewelry stuff here. You could go in and say, let's see, I want people in my general area, so pick a certain area. You could pick it within a mile of here if you wanted to. You can pick people that follow Etsy or like Etsy, because in Facebook, you like different things, right? So you can find the people who follow people that you know are your target. If you want people that have money, maybe you're going to target people who are doctors and lawyers who actually make $250,000 a year or more, or live in a house. If you're a realtor, you can target people that live in $1 million houses in Beverly Hills if you want to. You can find people who are searching for buying a house or finding funding for buying a house. I mean, you can target like down to the, it's amazing what you can do with Facebook ads, but you have to know who you're targeting. Then you can buy the ads. You do different ads. You figure out which ones people click on and buy. As soon as you figure out who's doing that and you do your research and your testing, you can just, it's like Vegas. If you know that you can put $1 in a machine in Vegas and you get $2 out, how much money will you put in that machine? A lot of money, right? You can do that with Facebook ads. But you have to do the work. You have to do all of that stuff that I talked about before. So those are my 11 tips of the day. Does anybody have any questions or anything from any of that stuff? I know I kind of went fast. No? Oh, no? Fran? Anybody? Any questions they had the other day?
Oh, I want you to tell the story of the girl with the insurance.
What we talked
Where
about?
you narrowed it down to women.
Oh, right. So the insurance girl, yeah, that was really interesting. We had a mastermind the other day, which I'm doing on Mondays in Santa Clarita, by the way. We actually masterminded her because she said insurance, everybody was her client. So we started saying, well, what kind of people do you like working with? And she said, well, I love working with she's single, so she's single women who maybe are divorced, and then they need to be educated on what kind of insurance. So I said, you could be the expert for single women, what kind of insurance they need. Maybe single women entrepreneurs. You can narrow it down to that kind of thing. And she would set herself apart from all the other insurance agents for that niche, right? So super, and lawyers, that's easy. I mean, pretty easy with lawyers, but you can target your specific kind of a person. And if you want to target women, whatever it is, everybody can do that with anything. So it's really fun. It's fun to start thinking about how you can do that kind of stuff. So anyway.
So a lot of people might not know this, but Steve used to be one of our state representatives.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Very cool. So I would like to, what?
Are you still live?
I'm still live. Okay, real quick, let's do this. Let's end the Facebook Live. I want to do this. I'm going to turn it around here. Who would like to real quick promote their business? Want to? No? How about you?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, come on, Aubrey. Of all people on the planet, at least tell us about your nonprofit.
Well, I'm a nonprofit. It's been supporting a lot of the kids in the Antelope Valley for almost nearly 20 years. Outside of my nonprofit, though, I've actually built a very lucrative business doing a lot of the Facebook stuff that you just talked about for customers that don't have time to do it. So we actually go through and we find those marketing niches and tools for them. We actually will build the customized website for them. We'll go through and then promote that website virally to our own email contact list that has about 30,000 people.
Awesome.
So we actually do that to take away so the business owner can get back to business. And then we are just kind of like that personalized assistant where we help them continue to grow their virtual networks.
How do they reach you? How do they find you?
Online.
All right. You have a website address?
www.usacommunitycare.com.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you so much. Okay, how about you? You want to go, Fran, while he's chewing?
Oh, hi there. I'm Fran. Jesse. Well, I guess the product that I'm really looking to promote right now is my spice blend, and I've been doing 5 different blends for inflammation, detoxing, and brain, and common cold, and digestion. And I put them all into 3 of them into one blend. I'm calling them smoothie spices, so that you can actually get more power out of them by putting a teaspoon or more in your smoothies on a daily basis. And I know when I don't take it, it makes a big difference. But anyway, I'm going to start working on zeroing in on specific diseases and actually writing an ebook of listing every spice that will help that disease, where to buy it, how much it'll cost, and teach them how to blend it themselves. Then they can also put it in capsules. There's equipment you can do that in. This will all be on my
Website?
it'll be in the ebook. And then
Okay, so how can they reach you?
LongevitySpiceBlends.com.
Awesome. Keep up with her. Do you guys want to talk about what you do?
I'm an attorney. My concept is nobody has one problem. In December, you need to settle your personal injury cases because you need money for Christmas. In February, you need a bankruptcy because you have to get rid of all the credit cards you maxed out for Christmas. In April, you get a tax return. Now you can afford to do your divorce.
Oh my God.
And every holiday is a DUI. So what we find is everything is seasonal, and nobody has one problem.
Oh, that's funny. How do they reach you?
I'm listed in the phone book, and it's mostly by word of mouth. I don't need to do massive advertising. It's 726-5151. I'm the attorney that gets the job done.
All right. Excellent. You want to talk?
That's okay.
No,
I'm just
no.
soaking it all in.
Okay, good. All right. All right, so I'm going to sign off. Hope you guys had a great time and got a lot out of it. And email me or find me at SueBrooke.com. See you later.